into tracking mode, there was George units. We've talked about these before. The George units are the gang units. So they're the ones that initially started this. Now, it is what they're calling a stolen car, code 37 stolen car. There are times, though, that the gang units maybe know a little bit more information or maybe suspect these guys of gang members or bigger crimes or something like that. But the stolen vehicle was the reason for the initial traffic stop. And this did start as what's called tracking mode. I'm sorry, what is called a following, where they did get enough units behind it, got the helicopter behind it
Stuntless,
before
thank
they
you.
even tried to pull him over. So they wanted to have all their ducks in a row before they tried to pull it over. They tried, and he took off, and now we're seeing this really
This one better last. I don't think it will.
out.
And you know what?
I think it's going to end.
Something that could have happened there, Desmond. That almost looked like a near miss when they turned the corner and there was another car that seemed to be sort of parked in the middle of the street. They did get around it, but that was pretty close.
Very, very close one there. Yeah, I mean, if someone was just pulled over, like loading or unloading passengers, or what the deal was going on, and you know that's what you're going to have in these little residential zones. Look, not even slowing down. I mean, 50 miles an hour, blasting through that stop sign. At least the headlights are on now to try to give anyone warning. But you know, we're in a little neighborhood. It's a really nice.
What's
night
up,
out here in the
Whimsical?
valley. Folks out there walking their dogs. We've got a pretty moon out. So, and then here comes this lunatic driving like this. So it's just so unnerving to see that driving as we're back out onto Victory Boulevard. So kind of circling around now in the same neighborhood, but back out onto a major street and up to 50 miles an hour. So we are in the Lake Balboa area here at this section of Victory Boulevard that's 3 lanes and really wide open driving up to 70 miles an hour now. On this one. So again, you know, if LAPD's at this point maybe just be, you know, staying backed off and waiting for them to find somewhere where they can get out and run, and you know, you don't want to see the suspect get away.
I'll start up the
maybe
prediction.
at least a little bit less danger for the public is the calculus anyway.
Yeah, because there's not that much they can do. Driving at those kinds of speeds, they certainly couldn't do a pit maneuver. And you know, when I heard you say that they were circling or staying in the same area, that could be a possibility for them to kind of guess if they're going to come back around to lay a spike strip. But
right, and
go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, they are. There is some talk about something that they want to do to bring this to an end, and that's, you know, there was a pursuit earlier today. The same situation. The person kept going in circles in the same area, and that is what gave LAPD the opportunity to lay a spike strip down. So we'll see if they can get one out here.
Now, are they on White Oak Avenue now? That's another
White
pretty.
Oak right there in the yeah.
That's pretty wide.
You look
street,
hella
too.
sweaty. I've been exercising.
Yeah, you got 2 lanes each direction with a bike lane, but yeah, so not as wide as Victory. But yeah, I mean, still, you know, a fairly major street here that's going to terminate into a residential zone if we continue here up past Roscoe. Roscoe and Balboa were the first streets that we heard about where this called up. So right by Van Nuys Airport on kind of the northwest corner of the airport as they go right through that traffic.
Oh, there they were.
There
Spikes.
for a light that I think.
What's it?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't. It happened so fast I didn't even see it.
There were spikes?
Did
he hit him?
Did that look like a good spike?
I don't think it made contact. No, the officer was standing on the corner there and was able to toss him out, but because they were driving on the wrong side and were coming back.
My
around, I don't think
replay
it made
doesn't work.
contact.
Des and Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, considering the direction that they're going, could they possibly run up on the 405 freeway?
Oh my goodness.
He's flying right now.
We're parallel to the 405 right now. We're still pretty far west of there. We're driving towards the 118, but White Oak will not get the suspect there because the train tracks are going to
Good JoJo and King Ed, what's up?
Make their way over to Balboa or Reseda. So we'll see what the suspect does if they get up to Roscoe instead, and we're going to turn before that onto Strathern as we make an eastbound turn here back into another small
He
neighborhood.
missed? All right, Turtle,
and then
thank
another
you.
quick turn southbound. So I'm also calling out these directions to help my pilot because it is a lot to for them, all this zigging and zagging. You know, turn left, turn right, and
is he
so,
going
all
somewhere
over the
right
place
now?
Shoshone Avenue, back into one of these tiny neighborhoods. So, you know, what is the point of doing all this? And again, there's that lights off again.
Hey, Sean,
so
what's
they're
up?
definitely trying to, well, and then the lights back on. But that's super dangerous for them, too. If the
How it
street's
has
not
been,
lit well, and you're
just
gonna go
started,
40, 50
really.
miles an hour, then you may as well close your eyes because you can't see anything in front of you. So, really,
I've been
crazy
live for
stuff
4 minutes.
out onto Stagg Street here. I think this will get it back towards Balboa. But,
Anybody see the big rig
just
chase?
really,
I saw
really
the
hate
end of
seeing
it,
this.
yeah.
I mean, hate seeing it anyway, but especially in these narrow residential neighborhood streets.
Yeah, and even darker now. Now they had, looks like they turned the lights off again. Maybe they're driving with the foot on the brake. I don't know. Or did they turn? No, I could see the headlights again. It's very interesting as well. Now they're in Encino Avenue. Does it give you a sense that they could possibly know this area pretty well and know where they're going?
I'm really not sure. I mean, it kind of just feels like they're looking for a dark street where they can turn the lights off and maybe, you know,
Oh,
dump
hey,
the car
JP,
and
what's up?
run into a
And Sven,
neighborhood or
how you
something
doing?
like that. You know, unfortunately, they do have some lead time right now on LAPD because they have been in tracking mode, but the helicopter up there has been doing, you know, a really great job of keeping up with this suspect and the crazy driving. I've seen them go through our shot a couple
Where's the
of times.
night
We're
sun?
right next to an elementary school right now. Another vehicle that's just
Light
kind of
'em
parked
up.
out there. Definitely not expecting someone to come fly up behind him at this late hour. So now coming back out onto Sherman Way, another major street making a westbound turn. So, yeah, is there any rhyme or reason? It's really kind of hard to tell at this point. It just seems like a panicked suspect kind of doing whatever they can.
Yeah, it does at this point. All right, there's
southbound.
another wide turn there. Again, if they're looking for, I mean, they've certainly run up on a number of smaller neighborhoods and dark streets where they could have possibly tried to ditch the vehicle. But I mean, like you say, Des, that chopper is really keeping up with these guys. I say these guys, not knowing if there's more than one person in the vehicle, but
Yep.
There's a
say
cop.
And you know what? I mean, it looks like LAPD may actively be back in pursuit now. You see their spotlight, and they have their flashing lights
He
back
just
on.
runs through
They're
every
not too far
intersection.
back
It's
there
like
now. I mean,
eventually
you know,
it's gotta.
sometimes, you know, we see the authorities back off, but then if the suspect's going to drive like a maniac, then
It's got-
you're
there's
getting
gotta
the
be
worst
someone
of both worlds,
coming.
Where they're
You know,
getting
gotta
away
be
and
someone
you
cross
are still
traffic.
endangering, you know, and the public is still being endangered because they're still driving really crazy. So they kind of look like maybe they're re-engaging in this one.
Shinji
Back
says,
out
"Don't
onto,
encourage
Van
criminal
Owen Street
behavior."
Here. So we've covered a lot of the east-west
Although he
streets and
wants
a lot
the
of these
the
little
chase to keep
neighborhoods.
going.
Yeah, definitely.
Got the lights
wondering
off.
If there's going to be you know,
Okay,
if they're
blacked
gonna
out.
Get out and run here. I say there. We're not sure how many people are in the car still at this point, but lights back off here. 55 miles an hour.
yep, and we've seen them on Shoshone Avenue before in this same area. So we'll see what happens if they're contemplating, as we've seen so many times with these pursuits, where they can make a move in dumping the vehicle and doing a foot bail. And again, we're not exactly sure how many are in this vehicle or not, but this is a stolen Hyundai, as Des mentioned, a Hyundai Santa Fe, which is a very popular vehicle when it comes to being on that list of cars that thieves like to
Whoa.
steal.
Damn.
That was
Whoa.
close. First time we've seen
Yeah,
that.
real
Damn.
close right there. Yeah, that was the closest call I think we've seen. I think they had to slam on the brakes there. I saw a little bit of another spike strip attempt there. That
Did they
looked
hit
like
it?
a way better attempt.
I missed
That was
it.
very, very well
Again.
timed. Maybe Mike, you'll hear on the radio if they say good spike or not. I
Yeah,
couldn't
I'm
quite
listening right
tell.
now.
It was very, very close there.
So that means they're probably getting even more desperate to try to ditch that car.
Oh,
Oh, they're gonna get out.
Yeah, here we go.
Uh-huh.
And out and parked. So I think
No.
maybe the spike strip was good because all
Yeah,
of a sudden
spike's
here,
successful.
or if they just realized LAPD, all right, and
Oh,
they
look
knew
at that
LAPD
spotlight.
was not messing around anymore, and they decided
they're out
to
of the
park
car.
the vehicle, and hopefully we're going to see some hands out the window here shortly at Welby and Yarmouth in Reseda.
Okay, do you
MKRQ,
see
what's up?
LAPD
reverse
behind the
lane.
vehicle?
Uh-oh.
What'd you
Wait.
say?
Yeah, but nah, they were just reversing right there.
The
yeah,
cops are being
LAPD
very
is out there now
aggressive.
with
Oh,
weapons
I see 'em
drawn
now.
and definitely
Okay.
commanding
They
the
turned the
suspect
car off, I
to
think.
come out, but I just saw the reverse lights for a second, which made me kind of nervous. So, and as always, we've got the
Smoking.
pursuit tent, the super dark windows on this one.
This lady is
but,
a
still
story.
no
I don't care
movement
for
from the
her.
suspect inside.
Yeah, and as Mike just pointed out, that right tire, front tire is smoking.
Oh,
You
it
see that
is.
smoke coming
What the
out?
hell's going
Probably,
on there?
Assume
What
that's
is
the
that
tire.
about?
Yeah, we do. I mean, it was also a lot of hard braking going on, you know, with the suspect. So I don't know if the brakes caught fire or if the vehicle's overheating. Yeah, quite a bit of smoke coming out, like more than.
Are they
you know,
just
you would
running-
expect
they're not
that from
running
that
the
spike
tires,
strip.
right?
So maybe the vehicle, you know, just gave up the ghost on this one. It had enough of the super hard driving, and I mean, I'm not sure if it's overheating. That's kind of what it's looking like here.
Oh, look, they got their hazard lights on. See, that they just turned those on. What was that for?
Yeah, you know, you see them. You know, earlier in the pursuit, they had the lights off, they had the headlights off, but they were using the turn signal. You know, you just never know what these what's going through these suspects' minds. Is now I think they've turned it off. But who's this? All of a sudden, just coming
Oh.
up to this vehicle.
Oh.
This is random.
Oh my goodness!
I wonder if this is
Somebody's mother,
okay.
wife.
Maybe
She
maybe
knows
his
him.
mother or a relative, and who just came up. or the owner of the vehicle. You know, I don't know, but this
what are
is
you
very,
doing,
very weird.
lady?
LAPD definitely does not like this. I know that for sure.
And she's putting her hands in the pockets. Might not want to do that, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, now she's telling him to come in.
Trying to
but, I
be
mean, this is,
the.
you know,
She's
all
trying to be the
definitely,
middleman here.
against what LAPD wants to see right now, but
Oh,
Is she trying to pull him out?
and
she was.
yeah, and looks like a young kid, maybe a teenager here. Well,
And there's
I don't
another.
know if this is her son or what the deal is. Yeah, so we do have multiple people in the car. Looks to be pretty young. Also be a teenage driver. Not the first time that we've seen that, but just because the mother's here doesn't mean that they're going to get off scot-free. They're still going to have to follow procedure and get some handcuffs right now.
Well, I don't know.
That
Did
was
we just
wild.
see some responsible parenting there? She just
I
went
mean-
over and said, "Get out."
Look, it brought it to an end.
Yeah, and okay, officers, come on now, because you can take them.
Interesting end.
Yeah,
He's a good
very
kid.
weird.
Yeah.
If this was some kind of misunderstanding or what the deal was. Again, this was a reported stolen vehicle, but obviously a lot of familiarity there with somebody. If they stop kind of right by their house or what the deal is, but now having to kiss the pavement here before LAPD comes in. They're going to do one at a time. They're going to come in, have them sprawled out, and then they're going to ask the passenger to do the same. And then
Son
they're
stole
probably gonna
mother's
have
car. It could have
some
been, I
slap
guess.
handcuffs
But they
on both of
stole.
them,
I don't
and they
know.
go
It
check
could
the
be.
vehicle for anybody else.
It really
You
could
know
be.
what? So I'm back on the woman. Possibly, I'm going to say it's somebody's mother. Is she still down there, Daz, or she just kind of walked away and said, "Okay, you can get them now"?
Well, yeah, there's a little bit of tree cover here. Can't quite tell. It looked like she walked away, but yeah, she just kind of materialized out of nowhere.
She was on the scene quick. Yeah,
walked up
well,
almost like,
Sean, you
this
got to
was,
think that they like
such an
drove
annoying
to
thing for
her,
to
right?
even have to deal with. It was,
Like they had to drive to
pretty
her.
crazy, but
There's
just
no way
really
she was
lucky
just,
that, it ended like
happened to
this,
be
and,
anywhere near them.
regardless, the owner of the vehicle, lucky that their vehicle's intact, but at the very least going to need some new tires.
Yeah.
And you're right, Des, when you think about it. I mean, the officers were stopped out of the car. I couldn't tell.
What's with this
Did they have
replay?
guns drawn or not? I mean, I couldn't.
yeah.
They did have guns drawn, and she just kind of walks up, knocks on the window, starts motioning to the officers like, "I got this." And then she kind of scared me when she started fidgeting with her pants. I'm like, I don't know if you want to do that, but now it looks like she did what she had to do. She got them out of the car. They
All
surrendered.
right.
Yeah,
But this was something
We have
to
seen
see.
them drive
So, I
home
mean,
before. Yeah, I think he probably drove home.
there they are right there. There, she's standing there with someone else, maybe
Okay.
another relative, maybe a sibling or
That's
something.
it. We got to do
we're not
the
entirely sure, but
prediction is
obviously
no.
some sort of familiar relationship between the driver and the woman who just came and walked up, and now putting handcuffs on the passenger first, and then they're going to come up and get the driver. So very, very curious situation, but with that insane driving that we saw,
Okay, everybody.
for us to be able to kind of
Thank
joke
you
about
for
this,
coming through.
strange ending, feel pretty lucky about that.
Appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
because no one was hurt. There were no accidents, thank goodness, although we saw a couple of close calls there. And as you mentioned, whoever that car belongs to, there was a spike strip thrown, so there is certainly
If I go live again
going to be
tonight,
some
it's
damage
because
there.
there's
But
another
there's
chase. What
there's
Night
Mom.
Sun mean?
We
It's the
assume that it's
spotlight.
Mom.
Strange things. It's a
She's acting
spotlight
like one,
from
that's for
the
sure.
Yeah, someone who cares
from
enough to
the
pull 'em out of
police
the car.
helicopter.
Yep.
That the thing they got shining on her.
knocking
here.
on the window,
All right.
and then telling the officer, "I
Shark,
got
what's
this.
up? We're
I
out
got
of
this."
here. Tony, what's up?
Just
We're
give
out
me
of
a
here
second here.
already.
And you're right, Des, and we are joking about it.